In 2023, the Phoenix Suns made a seismic move in the NBA, paying a price that sent shockwaves through the league to acquire one of the greatest players of all time, Kevin Durant. But with the benefit of hindsight, that historic trade now looks like a cautionary tale. The Suns paid a steep price, and as the 2025 NBA offseason approaches, the team is reportedly lowering its asking price for Durant, who could soon be on the move once again. The price of Durant, a historic haul. Let's rewind to the monumental trade that brought Kevin Durant to Phoenix. The deal was nothing short of earth-shattering for both the Suns and the Brooklyn Nets. Phoenix shelled out an absurd amount of assets to land the two-time NBA champion, and the magnitude of that trade now looks even more staggering when viewed through the lens of how things have unfolded. The Nets walked away with 4 unprotected first-round picks in 2023, 2025, 2027, and 2029, along with 1 unprotected first-round pick swap in 2028. But that was just the beginning. Brooklyn also received Mikal Bridges, the young forward who quickly became the centerpiece of their rebuild, later being flipped for a massive package of 5 first-round picks: 2025, 2025 from Milwaukee, 2027, 2029, and 2031, and a first-round pick swap in 2028 from the New York Knicks. And that's not all. The Nets also took on Jay Crowder, who was then traded to the Bucks for 2 second-round picks, adding more valuable assets to Brooklyn's war chest. The last remaining piece of the deal, Cam Johnson, is still on the Nets roster. Johnson, who Brooklyn reportedly shopped at the trade deadline, was linked to a trade demand of 2 first-round picks, though it's safe to say his actual value would likely be closer to 1 first-round pick. When you break it down, the Suns ultimately paid an eye-popping 10 first-round picks, 2 first-round pick swaps, and 2 second-round picks to acquire Durant. In terms of trade value, it's hard to think of many players in NBA history who have commanded more in a single deal, but that price came with consequences. The Suns went all in on a championship run, but that gamble has left them with a roster more dependent on aging stars than flexible assets. And now, as Durant's tenure in Phoenix nears its end, they're facing the reality that he may not fetch anywhere near what they initially paid for him: Durant's leverage and market interest. Despite the downward adjustment in Phoenix's trade demands, there is still a reasonable amount of interest in Durant. Several teams have reportedly reached out to the Suns, including the Houston Rockets, who are reportedly in communication with Phoenix. Additionally, other teams such as the New York Knicks, San Antonio Spurs, Miami Heat, and Minnesota Timberwolves all reportedly had mutual interest in Durant at the trade deadline, and their interest could reignite as the summer heats up. However, it's crucial to note that this won't be a bidding war like the one that transpired 2 years ago. Durant holds significant leverage in this situation thanks to his expiring contract. The 4-time scoring champion can effectively narrow his list of suitors using his destination on preferences to guide the process. Given that he's likely to only entertain trade scenarios that align with his own desires, the Suns won't be able to command the kind of king's ransom they originally envisioned. What does this mean for Phoenix? The Suns' situation is a cautionary tale about the perils of mortgaging your future for a championship window that never quite opened. While Kevin Durant is still a top-tier player, he's no longer the same centerpiece he was in his prime years with the Warriors. The Suns bet big on the future with that trade, and now they find themselves in a position where they're trying to get something, anything, back from the deal. Phoenix will likely need to make a decision quickly. As Durant enters the final year of his contract, his trade value will continue to decrease. It's possible the Suns could extract a solid return if they can find the right trade partner. But they'll have to come to terms with the fact that Durant's price tag will never again match the astronomical price they paid to bring him to the desert. As for Durant, his future will likely depend on his willingness to engage in a destination-based trade, narrowing the options to a few select teams. But one thing is clear, The era of Durant being a 10 first-round pick player is long gone. The Suns' gamble hasn't paid off, and as the clock ticks down on Durant's career, they're scrambling to salvage whatever value they can from a move that once seemed so promising.